Okay, I'm gonna go now. Wish me luck.
Wait a sec, I want to ask you about something first. What did you mean with that "my memory's a little hazy" thing?
I had a pretty rough time coming here. It was like being caught in a tsunami. I blacked out for a while. It's hard to explain. There's a barrier of sorts that I had to break through. I was lucky to make it here with my wits as intact as they are.
So you might have brain damage. You're about to do great things with a magic piece of paper, and you came here from another dimension?
So, after that highly controversial Alan Wake 2 review, I noticed a couple of things. So first, I noticed that the fans of Alan Wake 1 were disappointed with Alan Wake 2, and that most fans of Alan Wake 2 didn't care for Alan Wake 1, so immediately I noticed the divide within the fan base. Another thing I noticed was that people are extremely sensitive about Alan Wake 2, even when I gave the game fair criticism and still gave it an above average rating of a 6 out of 10. It's like they didn't even watch the review and completely fell for the clickbaity title. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, I'll talk about that more later. So, hey, I'll take the L, okay? I'll admit it. I'm not a big fan of walking simulators. Maybe you are a fan of them, but hey, that's just how you spend your money, I guess. One final thing I noticed was that I had completely forgotten about Alan Wake's American Nightmare. So, let's talk about it. My name's Blast, and I like to mostly talk about things that I like, which includes video games, movies, and pretty much whatever I feel like talking about, depending on the day, really. Mostly about video games, mostly Dead by Daylight related, but I like, I like everything. Or not everything, but I like a lot of things. So, American Nightmare takes place sometime after the first game where Alan is in the dark place. In an attempt to escape his living hell, he decides to take inspiration from an old episode he had written for the TV show Night Springs. It follows a champion of light facing off against his evil doppelganger known as the Herald of Darkness. Immediately, this helps fill in some plot holes and confusion I had in Alan Wake 2. Like, just one of the many questions was, where do the titles of the Champion of Light and the Herald of Darkness come from? It comes from Night Springs. So, the story is overall very short and simple. I finished the main story in less than 8 hours, but I bought the game on sale for like $4, so it was a steal. I haven't tried the other Horde survival type mode yet, but I plan to have fun with it soon. So, the plot is pretty much Alan being tormented by Mr. Scratch, and he has way more, and Mr. Scratch, has way more personality than the Mr. Scratch that we see in Alan Wake 2. This version of Mr. Scratch basically acts like Patrick Bateman, and even takes his sharp taste visually. I liked it. The absolute worst a man could be is a psychopath, such as Patrick Bateman. So picturing Alan's twisted double persona in that way was pretty cool. I liked the reveal of Mr. Scratch in Alan Wake 2 during the first boss fight against the boss fight against Saga, but I feel like he never seemed as cool as he did in that moment. Like, I was like, oh my god, it's Mr. Scratch during the battle, and then we fight him again a bit later, and it's like, I kind of don't care no more. But that's just a nitpick. That's honestly, I'm just throwing shade at Alan Wake 2 at this point, so I'm sorry. Anyway, back to the story. Alan uses Arizona as a backdrop for the Night Springs story, so that's where the game takes place. It's okay, it just reminds me of a boring version of, well, a more boring version of New Vegas from Fallout. So, Scratch throws Alan into his story, and we walk around and pick up a 9mm handgun, which is the first new weapon, and a flashlight. We continue to walk further and we fight our first Taken, so immediately I like the intro as it prioritizes gameplay over story. I also like that it plays just like the first game. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the flashlight mechanic of the second game, where the flashlight worked almost like a second gun. Like you had to keep reloading it with batteries, but honestly, I'll take the superpower feel of the flashlight in the first two games instead. Eventually, Alan makes it to a motel where he meets a blonde lady mechanic named Emma. She helps us and lets us know that Mr. Scratch was there. Pretty much everyone we meet in the game thinks we're Scratch at first, because he beats us to the story. Anyway, with her help, we gather some items such as a battery, a CD, and a valve, so we could follow a manuscript, I think it was, to blow up the source of the darkness, or at least the Taken coming into the story. We blow it up, and yeah, we follow the manuscript, place the items in a mini but simple puzzle, and blow I forgot what it's called. I don't know the word for it, but we blow it up. We return to Emma after fighting some more Taken, and she gives us the motel keys. We search the motel and we take some keys from a dead body of a man that works at the local observatory. Emma ends up being killed by the darkness because Mr. Scratch is just overpowered at this point. And with the keys that we picked up from the guy that worked at the observatory, we end up going to the observatory itself. And we help a woman named Dr. Rachel something. For some reason I remember her first name, but not her last. I forgot her last name. So we help her so we could see a signal coming from space, because it's of importance. And lastly, we go to a drive-in theater where we help out a brainwashed woman named Serena and fix the projector as we turn on the power. Serena is actually a bit important to the story as she's a friend of Alice Wake, you know, Alan's wife. So I don't know, the story, it's kind of hard to fit American Nightmare into the canon, because you could just say that it takes place in between Initiation and Return when he writes those, but at the same time the ending just, I don't know, the ending must have just been like a dream that never came true, something like that. So anyway, I kind of forgot what happens next after we fix the projector, but Scratch shows up and throws us back to the beginning by the motel. So basically, Alan is trapped in a time loop that we have to break out of. What else is new, I guess? It's not a loop, it's a spiral. So basically the story is Alan battling Scratch in the Dark Place. It takes place between Alan writing Initiation and Return, the books from Part 2. I like to think that after the game, Alan continues using stories he wrote on Night Springs, which explains his appearance in Dead by Daylight. And honestly, it could also be it could also explain his crossover into Fortnite, but yeah, that's just my personal headcanon. So, what did I like about the game? I absolutely loved the weapon variety. The first game was good, but it got a bit stale, like, really quick from the limited number of weapons. The crossbow and sawed-off shotgun from Part 2 also make an appearance in this game. So it kind of makes me sad that the crossbow and the sawed-off are returning weapons and aren't really new. But at the same time, I like the crossbow better in Part 2 because of how... Oh my god. It's that battle in my head between realistic and fun. The crossbow is more fun in American Nightmare, but I love the realism of it in Part 2. So it's like a... very, very subjective. So yes, the weapon varieties was great. Another thing that I liked about this game, Alan is dripped out. That outfit is amazing. I wish we got that exact outfit in Dead by Daylight, but we don't. We just got the Walmart version of the outfit from Alan Wake 2, so that kind of sucks, because the flannel is cool and all, but I want the sleeves rolled up, and I want the tucked white shirt, and I want the belt buckle and the pants. Like, come on, man, just come on, please, Dead by Daylight behavior, somebody, please. So anyway, moving on. The gameplay is so much better here than in the other games. It's like better than Part 1, but not as realistic, and I guess I don't know if this is the proper word, but clunky as Part 2. So it's the best of both worlds, honestly. It's a relatively simple story to understand. If you played the first game and understood it, you'll understand this one. And honestly, play this one before Part 2, because it helps fill in a lot of plot holes. And before you wonder, you start asking yourself, why is there two Mr. Scratches? They're basically two different versions of Mr. Scratch. Mr. Scratch of American Nightmare I would describe as like a urban legend version of Alan Wake. So like what you hear in the news and the media of Alan Wake. So like if like I knew nothing about Alan Wake and I just seen him from the news, I would know of him as being a drunk. I would know him as being like a party goer, sort of like a bad boy basically. And all those ideas get added into the one character, Mr. Scratch. So he's a psychotic murderer, Patrick Bateman ripoff. Well, Alan Wake 2's version of Mr. Scratch I would describe more as Alan's inner struggles. So it's 2 different versions of the same character, and I like that. I honestly really think it's cool. Did I already say I liked American Nightmare's version better? But no, I also like Part 2's. I don't know. It's. Let me know which version of Mr. Scratch you like better. I like that you don't get to choose a difficulty in the story mode. It just throws you in the deep end. I think that's. I love it when games do that. The puzzles are simple, but I like the idea of reading off the manuscript and making the changes in real time manually. This was later upgraded in Alan Wake 2 when during Alan's chapters. So cool idea. It's cool to know that this is where it comes from, and this is the first interpretation of it. A few new enemies, such as the Splitters, I think they're called, and the Bird Guys. I have no idea what they're called, but they're just the Bird Guys. They were added, and it makes the action a bit more exciting. The Bird Guys do kick my ass, though, so be careful. Now, what didn't I like? The environment is kind of boring, but it's in Arizona where there's a lot of dry land, so I can't really hate, but whatever. The game is pretty short, but I'll be fair since it's only like 20 bucks, and I got it on sale for $3 or $4. So it was a steal, like I said before. Jesus, why do I keep messing up? Anyway, I think this game should have been a sequel and had a bit more time to cook in the oven, but it was an Xbox Live Arcade game, so of course it's not going to be it's not going to be its own sequel. So I just really wish that it was, and not just a spin-off that a lot of people that I asked say that you don't have to play, but it helps you understand Part 2 better. So that doesn't make sense. I don't know. The Alan Wake community is a whole lot of confusing. I'm starting to notice. I hate the same 3 decently sized levels because they're just reused 3 or 4 times. By the end, they're just doing the objectives for you so you don't get bored of all the tedious tasks, doing the objectives over and over again. I swear, I'm a bit baffled, but at the same time, it's an arcade game. Like I said, 20 bucks, 10 bucks. I got on sale for 3, so I can't really hate on it. It's really weird. So overall, I don't really have much to say about American Nightmare, which is both a good and a bad thing. I would honestly say it's my current favorite Alan Wake game. It's very arcadey and campy compared to the other 2 games, and I love the game for it. If you don't like Alan Wake, then of course don't play it, and just like, if you're gonna say you hate Alan Wake, at least tell me why. But if you played Alan Wake 1 or 2, or both of them, I strongly recommend this game. It's a fun time with constant gameplay, and I give Alan Wake's American Nightmare a 6 out of 10. So yeah, now time for the thing that I said I would talk about later. Now is later. So, I really hate the reception of the Alan Wake 2 video. For some reason, I'm attracting a lot of people who just plain hate the Alan Wake games. Like, what's the point of leaving a comment saying, I hate all the games, and then just leave? I mean, yeah, it's a Giga Chad move, but I do these reviews for discussion. Let me know in depth why you like or hate something. Tell me whether you agree or disagree with me instead of not watching the video and telling me to grow up and try to put words into my mouth. Like, some of you guys are insulting me over a game. Though you're the ones who need to grow up. I think Gears of War 3 is a masterpiece. A lot of people don't care for the Gears of War franchise. Do I cry about it online? No, I don't. Do I go and talk shit to people who complain about Gears? No, I don't. I respect their thoughts and their ideas and their opinions, you know, like people should be doing. You could have a terrible opinion, yeah, maybe my opinion is generally bad, but the least you can do is tell me why it's bad. So, anyway, for the rest of you guys that actually watch my videos and make it to the end, thank you. And for the people that disagree with me in my videos and keep it civil, I thank you even more. You guys are awesome. You guys are the lifeblood of the channel. And I'm thankful that we're almost to 500 subscribers. I'm really happy. For that milestone of reaching 500, I'm going to do a retrospective of all the Evil Dead movies. And maybe the TV show. I'm still deciding whether I should or not. But, yeah, so I just want to add more thoughts to the reception of the Alan Wake 2 video, and I also wanted to tell you about, and thank you guys for almost reaching 500 subscribers. I actually don't know the number off the top of my head that we're currently on, but I am thankful for you guys. I also want to add that I'm kind of sorry because I've just been slacking off, mostly because I just haven't had time to sit down and record videos. I'm writing scripts all day and gathering gameplay. Oh god, voice crack. Gathering gameplay, but I never actually sit down and record my videos. So I'm hoping to get back to it soon. So if you like the video, make sure to leave a like. Comment, please. Literally anything. Hell, even do the Giga Chat move, just saying you don't like something and just moving on. And if you want to see more from me, feel free to subscribe. I'm not going to keep you for too much longer. So, see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.